Hi, so I'm going to try and explain slingshot, what gravity slingshot means and how it happens. This is how I understand it, gravity slingshot. So think of it like, so you know this spacecraft Artemis that has been going to the moon, and they say that they can use some object like Earth to slingshot the spacecraft, meaning instead of the spacecraft burning its own fuel to gain momentum to head wherever it is heading, you use the gravity of the object you are close to so that it sort of pushes you far. So I've wondered many times how this is really possible, and this is the explanation I've come up with. You can tell me what you think. If you find it helpful, let me know. So let's think of this plane as the surface, generally the space. You know, space in relative theory, it is assumed to be like a fabric. So let's assume this is a fabric of space, okay? So what we understand is that once there is mass within the fabric, it creates sort of a warping or a depression. So you can see that this is your Earth. It has created a depression, okay? So this is a depression, and this Earth, because of its own gravity, it puts a depression within space. So because of this depression, if this is your spacecraft and it wants to aim to the moon, definitely it will have moved away from the Earth and somewhere it is in space. Here I may have illustrated it to be far, but assuming the space is shrinked and is close. So if we want to slingshot the spacecraft towards the moon, so I assume that, you know, this is a moving body. So remember, Earth now is going to be moving. Let's assume it is moving this direction. So because it keeps on moving, it sort of creates ripples, you know, wave ripples. So where it moves off, this other part is going to go back up. The space will ripple up and it creates a depression ahead where it's heading. So that's how the curving in the space happens. So if you want to slingshot this spacecraft as it approaches, you time it just right enough when this Earth is moving away from this space, and this particular space we sort of, so you know, if you can remember, this is how waves are. So you time it that as this ripple is coming up, as Earth now is heading towards this side, it will create this upper, this sort of this protruding part. So this protruding part, if something was approaching and maybe it was at this plane, so coming at a certain speed, if it meets this craft, it is going to deflect it. So space will deflect. So space will deflect an approaching object towards a certain direction at a certain angle, depending on how you calculate it. This is an railway understanding. I believe people of mathematics can explain this better. So that's what we mean that gravity has been used to slingshot a craft. So you can imagine that an object will be approaching, and while this one is moving away, it will sort of create a protruding ripple within within space, which will slingshot off. So it is like, it is something that comes up and sort of knocks it off. So by knocking it off, you direct and again put more momentum on the approaching vehicle to gain more speed towards the target. So I believe if you do that, then the spacecraft will burn less fuel because it will have gained more momentum from the gravity of Earth. Because we all understand that gravity of Earth most of the time is bringing inside, but you can also time it in a way that you push away. So that's what slingshot I believe is, and that's what I think that's what Artemis was doing. And I think even when moving away from the moon, you could do the same and gain momentum towards Earth. Thank you. If you found this explanation helpful, see you. Thank you so much.